Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Ball Ridden Podcast. As always, I am Frank Sharoni and we are back after a bit of a break. 2 weeks?
Yep, a little break, and I'm back also.
Dad is back in the other chair. Little time off before, I think can you officially call it football season right now?
Well, there's only 2 times a year, as the sign says in the Ball Ridden Podcast studio. There's only 2 times a year. There's football season and waiting for football season. And the waiting for football season is about to end.
Yeah, this might actually still be the waiting for football season and the biggest part where we're just getting teased with preseason football, which NFL preseason, is exciting for about a second. And then just a bunch of clips and stuff from college training camps and stuff. But we've officially wrapped up the player profile preview. I think that actually went pretty well. We said we were going to do 12, I think. We didn't really account for, we were going to do it every week leading up to the season, but we wanted to save a couple weeks for before the season, doing like an actual preview of stuff, an overall preview, Heisman, stuff like that. So we did go 8 weeks though, and I think we went we did it every week. I think we made it 8 of 8 weeks. So
you got through all the positions,
yes,
and even the coordinators.
I think we highlighted some really good players. So I was pretty happy with that. And
yeah,
credit to Josh for that idea, because he came to me with that, and I think it actually worked out really well.
Yeah, okay, Josh. I'd love to, just to hear your point of view and the knowledge that you guys have about this. And congratulations to Josh. He just got married this past weekend, and that's a big event and a big celebration. So congratulations to Josh and his the start of his new family.
Yes, and Josh will, like I said, probably be back on here soon for our more of a full overall season preview type of thing.
And even more importantly of a shout out to the better half. What's Mrs. Josh's name?
Danielle.
Danielle. Congratulations, Danielle.
Yes, of course. And we were on we took a little vacation during the time off too.
Yes, we were in Hilton Head.
Yep.
That was nice. Great family vacation. Thanks, Frank. I appreciate you all coming.
Good couple weeks to kind of reset before we go, knee deep into this football season. Put a couple things out. If you are listening to this and you have Twitter or X, you can go on there and follow our Twitter account at BallRiddenPod. Normally don't post a lot, would like to start doing a lot more, but during the weeks off I did put out made a graphic for the top weeks of the college football season, like schedule wise, what weeks have the best schedule in my opinion. We did a little graphic for the top 10 group of 5 or group of 6 teams, non-power conference teams. Josh actually made his own rankings, ranking every single team in the FBS. So he did a full ranking, top 25, and then from that we pulled out the top 10 group of 6 teams, which actually college football wise I think will be one of the more interesting facets of this season, with how picked apart the group of 5 got last year, with so many of their coaches getting hired away.
Yes.
I think that will be one of the more fun things to keep an eye on, with, Boise State's always there. UNLV could have a strong team. The American Conference, which was extremely strong last year and where we saw multiple coaches leave. You got teams like Memphis who literally have 80 new players, but a lot of them are guys that were massive recruits, super talented.
Interesting.
That are now there that, trying to kind of find themselves again with a new coach in Charles Huff, who has been extremely successful. So interesting facet to watch there. Follow the Twitter account if you have Twitter and like to keep up with stuff. I also post stuff for every new episode that comes out, so it's a little way to keep track of that too. But yeah.
Good plug there. That's nice. I want to go and check that out. Everybody should do that. Let's go on the BRP Twitter account.
So this episode, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really prepare anything.
We're always prepared.
Bit of a open mic like we did the one time, but I figured we're in an interesting aspect for all 3. We like to talk high school football too. All three levels, high school, college, and pro, that where we could hit a couple minutes on each.
Yeah.
So where you want to start?
Anywhere, because I'm just looking forward to what's going to happen next. I mean, we saw a very interesting year, I think, on all levels of the sport last year, and I think we're looking at these. We went through the spring ball, and now they're following some of the teams in the camps and that, and I think everybody's just on the edge of their seat, waiting to see like what's going to happen here next in the next 3-4 weeks.
This is the big, this is where everyone comes out with their rankings. Your top 25, your top 10 best quarterbacks, top 10 coaches. And like we said last year, no one really knows anything, especially when it comes to the college football level.
Right.
And all rankings are to do, is get people talking and stuff.
Right.
I think the AP poll for college is supposed to come out. We're recording this Monday. Should come out by noon today, so when you're listening to this, it'll probably already be out. But that was a huge piece of contention last year. And I was actually talking with Josh about this the other day, but I don't think there's anything funnier than high school football rankings at this time. Because what?
Yeah, it is way
What
do they
know? There are the top teams where they have all the.
But look, they're mimicking that lifestyle. People have transferred it amongst the high school realms. Some of the teams have reclassified into different divisions. So a lot of the teams that have been dominant in some smaller divisions have had to go up into larger divisions. So I think, again, just like the world today, there's some interesting things that are going to happen in high school football, especially in Ohio.
So I guess we are kind of starting on high school a little bit. We said Ohio high school football. We talked about it a lot last year. I think a point we hit on was, it does go by division, where Division I is the biggest, or what you would, the biggest schools, D2, the next level goes down and down and down. Speaking of rankings, which I said don't mean a lot, but there was this website that I think we highlighted a lot last year. Drew Pasture comes out with his fantastic 50 rankings.
Yeah, he's a pretty dominant figure to listen to.
And it's weird how D2, if you look at his top 50, more specifically the top 10, D2 has teams that are ranked 1, 2, 4, 8, and 9.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the better teams, they move them to D2. So I think there's some teams that have a lot of historical dominance there.
But they're just not large enough kids-wise to be put into
Yeah, and
D1,
that's an interesting thing. If they still do it the way they used to when I coached, in October they come into that school and they count how many males are enrolled in that school in October, and then that determines your division size for the following year.
Wait, from last October?
Yeah, that's why we always thought that was crazy.
So it doesn't even count for the year you're playing?
No, so when they count this October, it determined, that's the way it used to be now.
Well, yeah,
now that I'm saying this to you, the way things are nowadays, I bet you yearly they adjust that.
Well, when would they count?
It seems like that's a little earlier, doesn't it?
When would they count?
I would count in July or August, like right
Can
before
you,
school
though?
starts.
I guess August, maybe July. When do kids have to enroll by?
Yeah, good.
Speaking of, are you familiar with this Jameer Brown kid? Does that ring a bell at all?
No.
So there's this one of the top rated recruits in the country. He's a senior this year, I believe. Wide receiver, committed to Ohio State, played at Wayne, Huber Heights Wayne.
Gotcha.
Ended up transferring. He's Ohio State commit. Did I just say that? Sorry. Little rusty. Ohio State commit. Ohio State wants him to transfer down here to be closer to Ohio. He also had a big lawsuit where he actually got it to where he could make NIL as a high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
So he transfers down to Columbus, ends up at Big Walnut.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was actually, DeSales was a possibility, obviously with the Ryan Day connection or whatever.
Correct.
But ended up at Big Walnut. I believe was there in the spring, won a state championship in a track and field event.
Gotcha.
Had to end up getting, a waiver and everything to be eligible for that, transferring in the middle of the year. Is with Big Walnut, does 7-on-7s with Big Walnut, summer workouts, all that. And then a couple weeks ago, someone just tweets out like a picture of him at Wayne's practice, and it's like Jameer Brown is back at Wayne after spending, 3-4 months at Big Walnut, and he's got to now try to get, they said the same waiver he had to get to run track last year, he's now got to try to get to be able to play football at his old school. So I don't know what happened that made him go back. I think the reason he came here was obviously Ohio State wanted him closer, and possibly an NIL deal that he had down here, whether that NIL deal fell through, something else fell through, but just a crazy story that exemplifies the craziness of high school sports, especially now kind of getting what happened to college sports, where there's kind of a high school transfer portal now.
Yeah, I think you're getting that college feel in the high school realm today, mainly because a lot of these main college players from the recent past, they're having, their kids are about high school age now. So they're trying to instill that lifestyle, I think, that they're just familiar with and what's really going on today. And all the kids in this high school level, they're at a high level, man, performance-wise nowadays, and they're just trying to land a free education, a free spot, somewhere where they can and obtain a national championship. That's a goal right now.
And another thing with his situation too, like he might not even end up getting to play this year, right? But at the same time, I don't know the kid at all. I don't want to judge his character or anything, but maybe him and even Ohio State, maybe they don't mind that.
Yeah.
Do we start seeing kids sitting out or something?
I don't think the character word has a place anymore nowadays, but there's just a way and a means. And if you can find that way and means, you can make things work in your favor or the way that you would like for them to work. But I'm not aware of how all that works nowadays. That's the part that kind of turns me off a little bit.
Yeah, a lot going on. But week 1 is this coming Friday?
Thursday, actually, the games start. There's a few interesting games Thursday, like Moeller is at Princeton. Those are 2 large schools. Avon and St. Ignatius, that's a big Cleveland area game there. And then Harvest Prep, they've been pretty good the last 3 or 4 years, and they're at Versailles. So that's kicking it off Thursday, actually.
Those are all Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
St. John's Jesuit at Toledo Scott. Also, Garfield at Norton and Hoban. Hoban's going to be dominant, I heard, this year. They're at West Orange, Florida, playing.
I wonder if that's one of the ESPN.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought there would be more games. Usually some of these Texas teams or Florida teams come up here and play like at Cincinnati Stadium. But that's the only one I see listed on Thursday. Maybe there's some Friday and Saturday games like that, though.
Closer to Columbus, our neck of the woods, Pick Central plays Gahanna. Those are 2 local teams. St. Ed's plays Liberty. Normally, Liberty won 2?
Old and Tangy Liberty.
Yeah, they won 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, they've been doing well.
Cardinal Mooney and Lake Catholic. Massillon plays Glenville. That's a big 2 massive programs, but Glenville is probably Division 5 or 6. Smaller program, but dominant program.
Yeah, they've been really getting smaller. That's interesting.
Where then Massillon's probably one of the most big money-wise and kids-wise programs in the state. And then Highland plays Walsh Jesuit. That's ranked as the top game of the week between number 4 and number 9.
Coach Dominic Lombardi's team. I was just texting with him a little bit ago about that. That's going to be a big game. Then I looked at their schedule, man. In that area of the suburbs of Cleveland, man, there's not a break.
Well, remember last year, though? Didn't they play nobody last year?
Well, good point. The only break I thought they had was going to be like Medina High School.
It also doesn't matter now because everyone makes the playoffs. So
well, that's true, too.
Why not schedule tough in the regular season,
you're
right?
back to that now, so because you can go 5-5 or 4-6
you can go
make it
2-8.
Yeah, but I was just texting them because I think Walsh is a big opening game for them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the Hornets, Highland Hornets.
Highland Medina Hornets. That's
Watterson. They're opening up with Anthony Wayne. That's out of Dayton area, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be just as good.
Yeah, and they've been dominant over there with the Buckeye backgrounds. With the Belisari's over there now for 4 or 5 years.
Well, the one's gone. The quarterback's gone.
Yeah, but then they've groomed the Purcell family, who I coached at Bishop Reedy in the early 90s. I mean, they had triplets there, right? And a 4th son also, who was our quarterback our first year. All their boys are going through there right now. And you got Rocco. He's listed as one of the top 10 linebackers in the state of Ohio. And, I mean, if he's just like Dom was, Dom made every single tackle in the state championship game. He was in on every single offensive play. But I know the Purcells, from growing up, and I tell you what, their sons are doing the same thing. And you know what was funny? When I coached, they would put all their boys through every high school kids camp in this area that they could. So they would always come to the DeSales ones, and they were some of our biggest fans over there. Just a great family from the Bishop Reedy era, back when Mom went there. And Mike and Patty Purcell, their parents, just great people. They were great supporters.
And they were the Division III state champion last year, correct?
Correct.
And they are now Division II. Speaking, like you said, some of those teams moving up and down, which I wonder, you got to think, they probably got moved up. Do they still do the competitive balance thing?
I'm not sure.
I wouldn't think they would have enough kids to get moved up to.
But you know what? Thinking back to the Ohio State impact that we were just talking about, I'd like to see this. I'd like to see Rocco, man, get a shot there, play linebacker at Ohio State.
How big is he?
That's the other point. Maybe that's the issue.
That's,
all those
that's
guys
like
are,
the main issue.
All those guys are below 6 foot. You know what I mean? Just tough as nails. But that size thing, it does have a lot to do with things. But like I always say about linebackers, your eyes are your best part of your body. You got to have good eyes if you're a linebacker.
Yeah, but at some point,
I know the size
to get the major
yeah
offers, which is kind of sad because you can also have a ton of size and not a lot of talent, and they'll still offer you.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, that's good for Ohio high school football. I think. Anything else you got with?
No, I'm excited about that starting here.
We can go over to college football, which, like I said, we're in. Kind of the biggest, getting teased part with it because there's no preseason or anything. A lot of clips from camps. I think the biggest thing for a lot of teams is trying to stay healthy. I think USC had an O-lineman that went down in camp. Miami just kicked some kid off the team for I don't know why. But speaking of I wanted to get your thoughts on this. How is it a massive advantage or disadvantage? Or what do you take from college being the one level outside of high school or NFL where you get no tune-ups against anyone else, right? There's no scrimmages. There's no joint practices. The first time you're getting live action against someone else is in that week 1 game.
I don't think there's a problem with that at all. First of all, I think it's protecting them against some injuries. And I'm looking at some of these guys when they're in camp right now, and shit, man, they're getting after each other, man, so much. I'd hate to see a scrimmage against someone else. And then another thing, how many weeks are there in college football? There's well more than 10. So this season has become so long. I don't know how these guys survive, other than like a hyperbaric chamber or some type of seance or something that they do over their body to keep it, surviving week after week. But then there's that mental part of it. But yeah, I think it's advantageous that they do not have any scrimmages or any preseason games.
That is a good point, it's become a talking point for a lot of coaches with how long the season is now. We saw it with Ohio State. I think Ryan Day said a lot of times last year, because Jeremiah Smith was banged up. He's like, we're trying to get these guys through this season as best as we can and be, still well put together. They're not going to be 100% by season's end, but well enough to perform at the highest level. Indiana went 16-0 last year, and that was with a bye in the first round of the playoffs. So if you want to win it all, yes, if you get a bye the first round of playoffs, that's still 16 games.
Yeah, but see, Indiana, they had that, if you ask me, they had that mental it last year. As you watched every week go by, 1 week at a time, and you listened to Cignetti, and then you started listening to him speaking through each of those players, whatever they had going on mentally, they had the mental it that it takes to just not even be affected by anything positive, negative, here or there,
Yeah.
They were just focused, man, and just advancing week after week.
Question about Cignetti. I'm assuming you don't know much about, their roster, they lost a lot from last year. Still had a lot of guys coming back, and then with how good they've become.
That's why I was watching Big Ten. They were there at their practice for the camp this week, so I was listening to that a couple times this weekend.
Are you bought in? Would you buy in on Cignetti just based off him being there alone?
Yes, I'm listening to him and knowing him now for a year. Now I know some of his past and where he's from and what he's done. And then I'm listening to him now after winning the big one. I want to play for this guy.
Yeah, I don't see
This is a guy I want to work for him. I want to marry him. I tell you what. Yeah. Like I want to raise my next child like him. You know what I'm saying? I want to find the formula. I want to find the potion. I want to find the book. Does he have a book out?
No.
I want to read it.
They do have.
They make him write a book.
They did bring in who's supposed to be one of the top transfer portal quarterbacks, though. Schedule wise, they play Ohio State, at Michigan, USC. Other than that, they've been getting shit on, of course, for their non-conference schedule, which is a cakewalk.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to lose in the non-conference. But yeah, they should. Even roster wise, they should be a playoff team. But like you said, it's hard to, just with Cignetti being there alone, it's hard to count them out or not believe that they're going to.
No, especially like that's why I wanted to listen this week to their camp and see what his tone of voice was and his point of view was like after winning it all and now trying to start back up again, for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And like just some of the things that he's saying and rightfully so, man. He's happy. I mean, he's elated for what just happened. But
I don't think he's going anywhere.
But he always keeps telling you about how they're even toned, they're not too high, not too low.
He knows how to keep them.
He knows how to keep them level and low and humble.
I think I think a lot of coaches do this, but I remember hearing him say it one time. And he was talking about, going in at halftime and what he says to his guys. And he's like, when we're killing them, when we're winning easily, when we're up big, he's like, that's when I rip them.
Yeah.
Because they're too high and I got to bring them back down low. But he's like, when we're in a close game, when we're struggling, we're not playing our best, though, I got to be even keeled, take it easier on them, try to get everyone comfortable, confident.
I remember doing that a little bit in high school when we were really winning big at halftime. That's when I would come in and be like more detail oriented and more like urgent.
Yeah.
Instead of being relaxed and content. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I might throw a little sugar in there at the end of the rant and rave a little bit just to let them know how much I cared about them and didn't want them to slip up. But that's the mental it that I'm talking about. It's psychological, but I really believe it all is so effective if first you can create a connection with those kids. And whatever Sig's doing over there, and then today I'm listening and yesterday to a lot of his staff, like everybody's hounding the quarterback coach. That's why he hired him, because he does amazing things with quarterbacks, he said. But they have this demeanor and this it factor that I've been looking for.
Speaking of staff-wise, they keep both offensive and defensive coordinators from last year's team, which is extremely rare for a national champion.
Mm-hmm. But he's got a history with these guys, and they've got a history in their families, too, being coaches, So it's like that history there, the chemistry, it keeps you locked in.
Yep. I said one thing I really wanted to focus on this college football season or keep an eye on was that group of 5, group of 6 playoff race. Anything in particular that fascinates you about this season or that you want to watch this season? A player, a team, a storyline? If not, it's fine.
Well, I'm interested in how Manning's going to do at Texas here because he ended up really solid. But they're not putting a whole lot of pressure on him. But I'm kind of interested in how he's going to start off the season because of the way it started last year. The other thing I'm interested in about is how highly they're talking about the Buckeyes.
It's every year.
I know. But this year I just wasn't expecting that. But man, they've got a target on their chest here, and I'm waiting to see, what goes on with that. And I think mainly because they've spread so much love into the sales program with their football program. There's a lot of Buckeyes working over there with the kids now. There's a lot of Buckeye kids over there playing right now, just like at Watterson. So I'm hoping that the target, nothing negative works out for them, just for the sake of our town and that. But yeah, that's the other.
What's the difference between target on your back and target on your chest?
Yeah, I don't know. Both.
Does that mean more pressure? Is that an actual
I think
saying?
They always do, because the way this town is with the Buckeyes, man.
Me and Josh said
target
it
on the head, target on the ass, when we were talking
everywhere. We were talking about the kicker. I don't think there's more high pressure position in college football outside of a quarterback than Ohio State's kicker right now.
The only great one I remember, and this is back probably from the 90s. I think his name was France.
I don't know.
Mark France, he hit
I
this
don't know.
major field goal, and then he was awesome after that and solid, right?
Yeah.
But I never forget the camera went right on him after he made it, and he went like this into the camera with the OK sign there with his hand, and he said, "Believe it, Holmes," like that.
That's good.
But everybody liked him back then. I think it was Mark France or something
They
like
just
that.
need one of these guys to make a big kick in a big moment that actually matters, and they'll
What
love
about
them.
some of our local guys, man? We got a ton of great kickers in this town.
You're Ohio State. They should be able to get like the best kickers in the country.
Correct.
But it's also like you said, it's kickers. You don't know when they're going to show up,
And
when
you
they're
know
going to
what?
crumble, and the pressure of
Just
kicking
like I
there
was
is-
saying, it's that mental it. And sometimes these kickers, like, it's so hard to mentally prepare for that when
Can't.
you're not in that whirlwind or that hurricane until right when that kick happens, you know?
you really can't recreate it in practice or anything close to it, I think. But that's why it's probably the it's more of like golf than it is kicking, because
Yeah.
it's all mental.
Yeah, it is a lot like golf.
All right, one more thing with college football. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. You don't got to answer right now, I guess, but you are someone who you don't really have a college football team, do you? You like to follow players, guys
Yeah,
you know, but
correct.
you don't really have
Good looking out.
You don't
yeah.
really have a team.
You're good looking out, yeah.
So I think you should pick a team
All right.
this year.
All right.
That's your team that you root for, you follow closely. You don't have to pick now. You can if you want, but you can look into a little bit more. But you're always rooting for anybody and everybody. But I think it'd be cool for you to find it. It could be from anywhere in the country, any level, a group of 5 team maybe, a Big 12 team. Big 12 is a conference where you don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of teams that can be really good or really bad. But I think it'd be fun for you to find a team.
Yeah.
That you could root for.
Well, there's 2 teams actually that I want to put more interest in this year, and I want to follow them more closely. So maybe I'll go ahead and pick those now. And they're kind of teams that are in the limelight lately, but mainly because of their head coaches and some of the things that I've seen going on right now in camp.
Mm-hmm.
The first team is Colorado.
Oof.
Yeah. So I'm listening to their strength and conditioning coach. It's a female. And she had a great, everybody's giving that introduction speech to the players when they come in for camp.
Mm-hmm.
And her introduction speech to them was, it's been on social media, but I liked it. I like what she had to say. I like that there's some females in coaching right now and in strength and conditioning. I mean, normally the strength and conditioning coach in college football is a massive guy, right?
Yeah.
Who talks like this, right? And it's his female, and she was getting after it. So I liked what she had to say. I like what Coach Prime's doing out there. I feel like he's threatening the kids a little bit this year, so I'm wondering what's going to happen. So I want to follow them.
He knows I don't know if they would fire him maybe, but he's got to.
I'm wondering. Like I said, nowadays, what's going to happen with them next?
I could see it being more of him, just like, why am I doing this? What am I doing?
But I'm hoping it's a positive outcome. So I want to follow the Buffaloes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then North Carolina. I'm interested in what Bill's
You're
doing.
picking the two.
No, man.
The two shit shows almost.
It's funny. When you kids were following me around as I was coaching, whenever you and Anthony were with me, any place we would go, and one of my buddies or older friends would see us, they would call us the Belichicks because he would always run around with his dad whenever his dad was coaching and he was a kid. So they used to always call us that when you guys were growing up because you were always tagging along with me everywhere. And we were trading film with somebody or meeting up with somebody somewhere, or someone was letting us into their field to work out or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just have a fascination with him, and then especially with all the crazy, nowadays crap that he's doing. And I'm like, I like North Carolina blue. So I'm interested in those 2 teams, North Carolina Tar Heels and the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm going to pick those 2.
If you're a fan of being entertained, those are probably 2 good
Yeah.
teams to follow. I will say, though, if you're looking to be a fan and root for those teams, you might not see a lot of wins this year.
At this time in my life, with my recent retirement, I'm looking for some entertainment.
Colorado, though, you never know.
Yeah.
They're filled with transfers. They have a really talented quarterback. I really like their offensive coordinator that they hired. He's got a fun little offense. So
and Belichick's staff is phenomenal, man. The people he's got on that, most of them are Belichick's anyway. But Cignetti's staff is amazing too. When I saw some of those guys today that were on that staff, I was really attracted to them.
A lot of guys too that he's been around since his lower level coaching days, which is pretty cool. Like I think the OC said he was He was one point living in a college dorm, had no money, was borrowing money from people just to make it by, and now he's probably going to be a head coach next year.
Like these guys I coached with for my first 12 or 14 years, right? And we still text all the time, all of us. And some of them are players that coached with us, and it's amazing that these guys now, there's still 3 or 4 of them sprinkled around some high school teams in this area, but it's always an amazing conversation when you're texting in that group.
It looks like Colorado's entire defense might be transfers.
Oh, no
Those
way.
are those are 2 really good picks, though.
Yeah, good deal. Thanks.
All right, we'll go to NFL real quick. Honestly, I just think it's crazy preseason that
Rogers said it, man. He said it's not real football.
No, it's not. Do you take anything away from preseason?
It's just guys trying to make the team. That's what it is. It's enough weeks where they got to fire so many guys each week. And it's guys trying to make a spot. And
all fans care about is what the quarterbacks do. It is nice to see, your rookies like Drew Aller with the Steelers play well and stuff. But all I remember was last year we spent 20 minutes talking about Trey Lance after he played well in the Hall of Fame game, and then it's just they're not going to end up doing anything.
I mean, the coaches I think should utilize this. They need depth later in the season, so you got to find guys that you prepare them for the the late season. Yeah,
it's all about finding depth, and I feel like special teams is probably a big part of it because that's where the most part probably those are a lot of guys that are trying to make the team, roster or find themselves on special teams.
Right.
Backup quarterbacks, you'll see a lot of QB competitions there.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's any QB spots still open. I don't think the Browns have named a starter, but I would say it's 99% probably going to be Deshaun. The Vikings picked Kyler.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of the QB spots are already locked up. But yeah, a lot of those backup roles, and because you'll end up seeing a lot of those guys throughout the year with injuries and stuff. So it is important. And the Steelers right now have 4 quarterbacks, and I don't think you carry 4 quarterbacks. So one of those guys will probably get traded or cut. If I had to guess, they would probably like to trade Mason Rudolph, but you would also like to make sure you have either Will Howard or Drew Aller for sure ready. You're 100% comfortable with them because when you have, a 45-year-old as your starter, he's probably not going to make it through.
Yeah.
What is it now, 17 games?
Right, but I don't know, man. I think mentally, especially listening to him now, and he's comfortable with the new coaching staff because they're familiar with each other from Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
But he just sounds like Rodgers sounds like he has that mental it right now. Like he's he
knows it's his last year. Yeah. I mean, I think he's just very free and comfortable with where he's
and that's when
at.
He's his best, I believe. Because when you listen to him, I think he's sounding that way.
Mm-hmm.
Sounding free and just sure, confident.
But we still got almost a month though till NFL starts. It's a while for that. I think we're just under 2 weeks till college football, and 4 days till high school football.
Right.
So it is officially here.
Yep. It is football season eve.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, good one. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you calling on me when you need me to relief out of the bullpen. Josh, thanks for letting me fill in. And what's Mrs. Josh's name again? Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, thanks. Congratulations again. Hope you guys have a great honeymoon and a great first year together. Congratulations.
Buffalo and UNC are your teams this year, right?
Yeah.
So keep track
of
that.
On mine.
Got Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick. Who would ever thought when you were a kid, not a kid but younger, who would ever thought you'd be rooting for Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick coaching?
I know, right?
Coaching Colorado. Well, Colorado they were pretty good back in your day, right?
They had Bieniemy. He was really good.
Yeah, Colorado and UNC.
But that's when nobody threw the ball too.
Yeah, just run game.
Yeah, I mean Dan Marino was one of the first quarterbacks that they might have threw the ball 40% of the time, which was a lot back then.
Isn't other guy from Colorado, the old Steeler, Cordell?
Oh yeah, that's right. He was
Colorado too.
He was young. He's younger though.
Okay.
Yeah, he was Colorado.
All right, that's enough for this episode.
All right, BRP, Frank and me.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a good weekend. Look forward to some college football full season preview stuff coming out here soon. Peace.